Hello everyone, Bill Parish here from GTT Audio, and welcome to the channel today. Today we're shooting here with my good friend Greg Weaver,
There you go.
also known as the Audio Analyst. He has his own channel, and we'll link it below. If you haven't seen it, be sure to check it out.
Better check it out. Sorry. Shameless plug.
Greg's appeared on the channel before, and we're in his listening room in the Midwest, and just having a blast this evening.
Yeah, we just had a nice meal and played a couple of decent records.
Oh,
and
my God. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's good seeing you, buddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I gave you a rundown of A/B comparisons and mentioned how a big part of my job is to do those comparisons and to evaluate components. And this week is another big part of my job where I'm traveling, doing setups, doing installs, and luckily I've got Greg to visit on the way back home. But I got out here in the Midwest on Tuesday, and Tuesday I had about 5 hours of listening and tweaking, and that was just amazing. Yesterday I think I was with a client and friend for about 10 hours.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Wow.
just dialing things in, and we installed subwoofers and tuned.
So you're saying it's not all glory, there's actually work involved.
Well, there was
yeah?
some work, but it's fun work. It is fun work.
Yeah, I
But,
totally get
the
that.
travels are really
Yeah.
a little bit grueling.
Yeah.
But, and then stopping in here, and one of the...
Well, you'd have been on my list if you hadn't stopped coming through. Without,
Oh, I know. Well, as
you're
soon
welcome
as
here all the time, buddy.
and it was not a planned trip. It was like the subwoofers came in on Friday and put the trip together, and
Here we are.
And on Tuesday I was on the road.
Cool.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And what was also awesome is all three stops. AudioNet amps preamp. One had a Humboldt.
Yeah.
Two had Tambaki DACs. You had a Tambaki at one time, but
Yeah.
unfortunately I had to pull that back.
Yeah.
They had YGs. You have von Schweikerts. I'm intimately familiar with that.
You can deal with them now, so yeah.
You've got a Kronos turntable.
I do.
I mean, it was equipment that I am familiar with.
Yeah.
But there are three different rooms.
Very.
And the room is so important in audio, and it's overlooked so much. And, you can have the same equipment
Oh, yeah.
and put it in three different rooms.
Yeah, three different systems.
And you got three different systems.
Yep, absolutely.
You really do.
Absolutely.
You truly do. And, I think that's overlooked at times. I mean, you can buy anything that you can buy everything that you want. You can spend, God knows how much money.
Yeah.
But the room is so important.
Well, I did a two-part series on the room and said
Sure did.
the most overlooked component.
Yes.
So,
exactly.
yeah, we definitely agree on that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, but it was just so much fun. And I learned something at every place I go.
Yeah.
Even though I've been to your place a few times.
Yeah.
I've been to these other places a few times, but you still learn something.
Dude, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you stop learning, you might as well be dead because you're not paying attention.
Well, you got to go into a listening room with open ears.
It helps.
Yeah,
It sure helps.
And an open mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was very interesting.
I've been pretty lucky. This room's 46 feet long, 13 feet wide, and 7.5 feet tall, and two different sized doorways, different locations. And I mentioned earlier when Leif Swanson was here from von Schweikert when we were setting up the Ultra 9s originally. He found out too that this room just works. He would walk from my chair to the fireplace to the chair. He's like, this room doesn't load. This room just doesn't load. What's going on? I said, well, in the corners it does, but up and down the room it's got a pretty much the same balance.
What's the length of the room?
46 feet.
46 feet.
Yeah, I can do a 24 hertz note.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
easily.
good.
Yeah, exactly. People are in a
12 by 12 by 12.
12 by 12 by 12, and they think they're going to do a 20 hertz note, and there's not, it physically isn't possible.
Yeah, but we also know that that's why subwoofers came into power, because you can compress the air, you can
cheat a little.
You can cheat a little, and you can recreate that feeling.
That's right.
And it's perfectly acceptable. It's not identical, but it's great. And you know, we were talking earlier that even a system like this, when you add subs. Now these will play down to I think they're 10 dB down at 16 hertz. Mm-hmm. And the thing that we talked about that I thought was the most important is we said it's not about being a bass freak. It's not about wanting to bang your head on the walls. It's about the openness and the space and the acoustic that you get. You know, I mentioned like there are times when if you don't have bass and then you add subs, you'll hear like in that that Cowboy Junkies recording, you hear the ACHC, you hear the air conditioning system running in the background.
You hear the hall.
Yeah, you hear the room.
It engages you to the hall. It is
and you don't get that.
It's a transporter.
Yeah.
It gives you foundation. It gives you air. I've been a huge fan and been preaching subwoofers for a long time. And like you said, it's not about being a bass freak. In my big room, I mean, I've got the big XVs. Do I need subwoofers? No. But why not?
Needs a pretty strong word, right?
Yeah. Don't need. I'm going to tell you guys something right now. In all seriousness, I do not sell anything you need.
Well, depends on what your addictions are.
I sell, you know, no, I mean in life.
Yeah.
I don't sell anything you need. This is all fun. This is, it can be an addiction, a healthy addiction, let's hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is fun. These are toys. These are big boy toys.
Yeah.
I mean, we just have a blast. But, you know, Greg, that almost leads me into what I wanted to talk to you about.
We have an agenda? Oh, crap.
No, not really. We're up here spitballing, guys.
I'm sorry. We're having fun. We're just pals.
But, you know, I mean, you're a reviewer. You also are, you're hearing gear all the time. It's coming in and out. Yeah. But you're not a gear hound. You're not. You look at audio equipment as I do, and it's a tool. It's a means to the end. Means to an end. What? I came here, and Greg and I stood here. He said, "Where do you want to shoot?" I said, "We'll put our backs to the records," because we stood in front of the records without any music playing for 45 minutes. We sat and talked about it, and this guy knows music. And, you know, and I got to say something with the three systems I heard today or, you know, over the last few days. We played everything. We played every genre of music. Yeah. And when a system can play everything,
all of it,
when it doesn't lean towards jazz or towards rock or to classical, but it's on equal footing in all of them, then you know you have a neutral system.
You've got a balanced system.
You have a really balanced system when everything sounds good on that. But I know you have a very strong classical background, but your strongest background is classic rock.
Definitely.
And this guy, he knows this music.
I lived it, man.
He knows the records. He knows who pressed the records. He knows everybody on the label, and he knows... He's got 5 or 6 copies of different things, or has gone through 5 or 6 copies that come out with the best pressing. Yeah. So that, I mean, I just take my hat off to you on that.
Well, thanks, buddy. You know, we talked about it being a means to an end. I don't think anybody wants to, my wife certainly didn't want me to spend this kind of money on a system, but she gets too. She's been down here and heard it, and she understands. And I've had the experience of having 25-year professional musicians that sit in my chair and literally weep listening to their own music going, I had no idea it could sound like this. So that kind of tells me that I'm on the right path. I mean, look, and you're right, I'm not a gear hound. I have gear that works together, that is hopefully fairly neutral. But the point is to have that emotional experience in the chair. It's not about listening to the hardware. It's about hearing the music.
Oh my gosh.
And there's so many guys. Well, fortunately, most of my friends are into the music as well. Yeah. And it's about that emotional experience, that what happens to you while you're sitting there. And I firmly believe, my kids have this system to come listen to, and Well, they're all out of college. They're all grown now. But still, most of them, they're happy listening to their iPhone sitting on the counter in the kitchen. And it's not that there's anything wrong with that, per se. But, dude, when you can
but it's
hear
not
it...
high quality.
When you can hear it like the musicians wanted you to hear it, there's something powerful and emotional and engaging about that that's just hard to define if you don't know what we're talking about.
So you and I know all this gear that's in here, and tonight I don't think we talked about any gear. It was only about music.
The music, yeah.
It was only about pressings.
Yeah.
We didn't A-B any gear tonight. We A-B'd pressings.
We did. Yeah, we won't mention. Yeah, we won't throw anybody under the bus.
But we A-B'd some pressings that were. Yeah, mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I can tell you that the most expensive pressing
isn't always the best.
Isn't always the best. That's for sure.
A basic rule of thumb that you'd probably agree with is the earliest pressing you can get is probably going to be better than most any remaster. Not always, but for the most part, the first pressing is going to be as good as it got.
Yeah, because it comes off right off that original stamper. It's not worn, and and the promo copies. If you're out there in the used record bins,
I don't have any of those.
Look for those that are stamped.
Promotional copy.
Promotional copy, not for sale.
I've got
property of. That's what you want.
I've got a white label DJ promo of David Bowie's "Man of Words, Man of Music" from 1968, 69.
For those that don't know, I mean, before they even released these, so they are the first pressings.
Yeah.
They press this stuff. They stamp these promos. And they sent them out to the
in those days the radio stations
who had to play them
to promote the
record.
Yeah.
And so that's the record. And the radio stations took care of them.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, most of them really took care of them. So these are great records.
Well, and you mentioned that I'm fussy about the pressings, and if you guys have ever seen me at a show, I normally dig into one of the most best sounding rooms at a show. And they let me play whatever I want from my collection for 4 or 5 hours a night.
Oh, yeah.
And we usually get packed houses. People are normally just thrilled to hear this stuff because, first of all, it's always a quality system. And it's the best sounding version of the music I'm playing that I've owned or have found. And it's, without going into all the details and how to do it, it's challenging. But it's so rewarding. I've got stuff here. I've got 7 copies of this and 5 copies of that.
If you want to look at or understand how deep Greg goes into the music, I would recommend you check out one of his Guilty Treasures episodes on his channel. Again, the Audio Analyst.
Yeah.
Check that out, and he'll do 20-minute, half-hour episode on a particular record.
Yeah.
And
I tell you which pressings.
Yeah,
I mean,
you do.
I talk about the record itself, but I also tell you, these pressings. Look for this one if you can.
Exactly.
It's the thing that's driven me this far has been trying to get back to those events. It's so rewarding and so enjoyable to think that maybe, just maybe, that's how they wanted you to hear this, and to get. And when you get to that level of emotional experience and this level of neutrality and capability, they're sharing their magic. You're getting to hear what they were trying to say. The more detailed and natural and extended a performance sounds, you're hearing more of the soul of what they were trying to put into that recording. And sometimes it works better than others. There are some recordings that they're just fabulous. There are other recordings that are okay. So you dig around, you find the ones that make the most magic.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, listen, I don't know what's going to happen for shows in the fall.
Yeah.
We certainly hope so. We miss seeing everybody.
I talked about that on the channel a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, just I think last week or the week before.
It was recently.
It was on your anniversary episode.
Oh yeah, so it was last week.
Yeah. So but you and I talked. You're gonna review an AudioNet phono stage.
I am. Yes, I am.
And then we're gonna get you out to New Jersey this summer for a listen, and
Are we allowed to talk about Discovery?
Oh, well, that's a whole other thing.
Can we talk about Discovery?
They just going to talk about Discovery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kronos's
Oh my
Discovery turntable.
So excited about this.
This is the new statement product from Kronos, and that's going to be released very soon. The first production run is essentially done. Couple little minor supply chain issues, 15 guys at the factory with COVID. So,
It's challenging. But
it's challenging, but I think we're gonna start shipping within a month. First production run's already sold out, but
it sucks.
you're gonna be coming for sure, and I'm gonna have a launch event. We're gonna get David Robinson from PFO. He said he would come, and we're gonna get everyone.
Well, I'll definitely do it on the channel.
Yeah,
There'll be we'll do one of yours and one of mine.
We're definitely doing the Kronos Discovery. This is. Stay tuned for that.
Wait till you see this
second
thing.
half of this year.
God, it's beautiful.
Or maybe even sooner. Maybe in a month when I get it set up in the big room back at headquarters. that'll be awesome.
That'll be a blast, man. I mean, that room sounds fabulous now. It's a pretty well thought out room, dude.
Oh, thank you.
I'll give you that. It's probably the most. It is the most well thought out, most perfectly laid out room I think I've ever been in. This room I got lucky. I didn't build this room.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Thank you.
yeah, I've been in a few rooms, but that place, and your secondary rooms are still pretty hot too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The room we did the Humboldt thing in was a nice little room. It's
Well,
kind of.
you know what? So I'm going to have Greg come out and we're going to listen to the Mola Mola Kula, the integrated amp. We had started that launch, which it's already been going great, but we had started that launch right when COVID hit, so you couldn't come.
Yeah.
But so you're going to come out and you're going to hear that with the DAC, the phono stage. You'll hear it with the Kronos, and you're going to hear it on the Von Schleicher DSEs.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's something
Dude.
that and
Yeah.
you're gonna. Yeah, I think you're gonna love it.
I know I will.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Well, if I don't, it's going to be more of a surprise than anything else.
As we're sitting here, I'm thinking the last time I saw you was with the Humboldt launch when you were out in New Jersey.
you came back through not too long ago. You actually did a piece on the room.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
you visited
last year.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we did an episode after that
That's
too.
right.
I think, didn't we?
Well, an episode's not in person.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
it is.
but you did stop.
That's right.
You stopped
that's
on your way
right.
through
Okay,
that time.
My mistake.
Yeah, it was right the day after I got the.
Well, we're used to
Ultra
seeing each other like every other month.
This
or
whole
something
thing,
like
this whole COVID thing has been so bizarre. Oh, by the way, we're maskless because the CDC said today if you're fully vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask anymore. So I'm excited about that.
I've been vaccinated for a couple months.
Yeah, me too. And I'm hoping that the shows actually can start up. I think I mentioned the last time I spoke with Marjorie Baumert about Rocky Mountain, she was still hopeful that was going to come off.
And I talked to Mark Freed on the way here.
And they're still hopeful, right?
Yeah, they're very hopeful.
That Axpona may come off. I'm pretty sure, no matter what at this point, I'm pretty sure that with the early November date that Capital Audio Fest, I think that one, unless something really weird happens, if we get another bloom or something, but that one should happen. That's the first weekend in November. So, and it's in Rockville, Maryland. So
yes.
And you do that show.
Yeah, driving distance for us.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's driving distance for me. Even it's just easier to take a plane. I love to drive, you know that, but it's just easier to It's just easier to fly and be done with it for me.
Well, we could sit here and go on all night.
Oh, we could.
But thanks for putting up with us. I hope you enjoyed it. It's something a little different, and
we're good friends. In case you can't tell, we actually enjoy each other's company, and we have so many similar biases and tastes when it comes to listening. Quite a bit of the same music, but I think we tend to prioritize the same kinds of things in a system when we hear it. And that doesn't mean we like exactly the same thing, but we tend to lean towards the same kind of sound. And that probably helped us. I mean, the reason I have the gear I have is because it sounds like I think music should sound.
Right.
And I'm sure that's why you rep that equipment. It sounds like music should sound.
We have the same systems.
Yeah.
We have the same electronics, the same turntables, and absolutely.
It's not a coincidence.
So it works.
Yeah.
Well, if you like this, please hit the like button, subscribe, Share it, comment below. We'd love to know your thoughts.
Definitely.
And I'll see you in 2 weeks.
So long, everybody.